I'm Lizzy.
And I'm Izzy, and we need help.
Each week we stumble through a new book, method, or concept that brings us one step closer to being our best self.
Yes, we make fun of ourselves.
And others.
But mostly just ourselves. So here's to not taking self-help quite so seriously.
Welcome to We Need Help. I'm Lizzy.
And I'm Izzy, and today we need gut health.
Dun, dun, dun.
Gut health.
Well, I will say, if you've talked to me in the last decade, we've talked about gut health.
That's what first attracted me to you.
I know.
You were
I
just
know.
talking about your gut health. I was like, ooh.
I am fucking obsessed with gut health.
It's interesting. I think about all this stuff like, growing up in the 70s, 80s, like you never heard about it, but I'm sure people knew about it and then suddenly it like explodes. Like it's interesting.
Well,
But I
I'm
think
going
you
to
did it before it was
venture to
cool.
say, well, my mom was actually doing stuff like this because I accidentally,
Okay.
but I would venture to say that, like, our depression problems, our inflammation problems in the world, are these strange diseases that we're getting, that people have, the fibromyalgias and the rheumatoid
Arthritis, arthriti. Can we just make up words?
Nailed it.
I would love to be a doctor. Like I would just make up words all the time.
Well, I'm not even a doctor and I do it.
Yeah.
This. So I would venture to say, and this is the movement right now because we're, making America healthy again. I've been trying to make America healthy again this whole time.
Yeah, I mean,
But like finally
until now.
Until now. No, now it's kind of getting cool. Like it always comes around. I'm just, so ahead in the game. But anyway, but I think I would venture to say that our health problems are stemming from the gut, and our mental illness problems are stemming from the gut.
So
That's how serious this is.
Like, why do you think so? What's so important about the gut? Like, tell me everything.
Okay, so leaky gut syndrome is what happens when you have an unhealthy gut. And there's all different ways to describe this. I'm going to give it to you Lizzy style.
Get your barf bags ready.
Yeah, no, it's not even that simple. Our lower gut, our gut system is basically has the barrier of it is like it's got like almost like a grid-ish, like if you put your fingers together like on top of each other. And when it's really healthy, it's got a lot of beautiful bacteria in there that's like
between the grids, like between the little.
Yeah, they are basically, yes, they are basically like security to keep all your shit in your intestines, basically.
Okay.
All the toxins in your intestines. But when we abuse our bodies, that security gets killed off, and your lining kind of opens up and lets the toxins out into your bloodstream.
Oh, God, I'm so glad you explained it to me in a way that I can understand.
It's weird to think about it. And like, we've bastardized, maybe that's not a good word.
It's a great word.
It's a great word. I don't know if it serves this, but bacteria, we are like 50% bacteria.
Okay. Oh, yeah, bastardize. I think like we've made it seem bad, right?
Yeah. Did I ever tell you about when I was in like second grade, I was like checking myself out to go to a doctor's appointment, and you had to sign your name and your mom's name.
Mm-hmm.
And I signed my name and my mom's name, and our last names didn't match. Did I ever tell you about this?
No, 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 no.
And the kid behind me said, "Oh my God, you're a bastard." And I was like, "No, no, no, no. We're Irish."
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I guess bastards, it depends how you look at it, but I guess it's a bad word.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
it makes sense what you're saying because I remember I'm not going to throw family members under the bus, but I had a family member who was really concerned about all bacteria. So she was protecting her kids from not being exposed to any bacteria, and her kids as adults have the most horrible allergies,
they're fucked.
and they're
Yeah.
constantly sick because they weren't exposed.
Yeah.
So,
Well, so we've made bacteria a really, really bad thing. And there are bad bacterias. Yes. You don't
yeah,
want to, you want to wash your veg, but
you want to wash
not
your
your veg. Not you. You want those bacteria in your veg, but not your vegetables. But we have made it so bad that we've killed our systems to a point where I mean we're in real trouble. We're in
yeah.
real trouble. So anyway, you by doing really bad things, and I'm just going to tell you what some of these bad things
Okay.
are.
Yeah. Tell me how I'm a bad girl.
You're a bad girl. Obviously, just to be like clear, leaky gut is a problem for everybody. It's not just some people. There are very few people who have got a really, really healthy gut. It's got to be the smallest percentage. And
Hmm.
then, so some of the bad things that we all have done is eat processed foods.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Now, tell me, okay, I'm going to pause every once in a while and ask you a question.
Yeah, I love
Processed
that
food,
about you.
why are processed foods so bad for the gut, for the bacteria? Why are they so bad? What in processed foods is so bad?
Well, there's a myriad of things, but in short, they use bleach sodium in it.
Mhm.
They use seed oils. They use n- n- food that lacks nutrition.
Okay.
Different things. Like when you go to a restaurant, a lot of times it is almost 100% that they're using canola oil.
Okay. And dyes and stuff like that.
And
Okay.
well, that's another thing. Dyes will get you. Um, our water quality can affect it. That doesn't mean don't stop drinking water because bad water is better than no water. But I mean that's something. A big one is antibiotics.
Oh, yeah. I have
And
not taken antibiotics since I moved to Europe, which was 20 years ago, because they just don't prescribe them here.
the worst thing about that I do for my gut is I will get a UTI and just it's like a napalm bomb going off in my gut and I have to start all over
Oh my gosh. Because
building it
in
up.
the US, because in Poland, they have medicine that's not an antibiotic that you take for UTI that works like an antibiotic. So it's just over the counter and it works better than an antibiotic. And I discovered it here, but it's not available in
Yeah.
the States.
Yeah, and it's just heart that's like the thing that I mean that is my I'll get UTIs and I did have energy work done that it's actually some emotional scarring is why I get it, but I have to have the freaking they have to have the antibiotics, so I have to like it destroys my gut. So I have to start over from scratch.
Mm.
So a lot of dairies if it's not a good dairy, a lot of times they pasteurize. A lot of times it's not processed properly.
Did I tell
Um,
you just
sugar,
sugar,
sugar is
of
like,
course?
and especially high fructose corn syrup. It's just terrible for your gut. Tylenol, ibuprofen,
Mm.
um, environmental toxins like perfumes. The lady I went to a class last night, this lady's name is Susan Kaiser. Um, and we'll post the way to get a hold of her if you ever want any help. She is absolutely incredible. She's 70 years old. And like when I first went to her first class, I was like,
What does
oh
does she
shit.
teach classes on gut health or just overall health?
Yes. And I think
Oh,
she's a nutritionist, but she's in my sister's neighborhood and she's just helping out her neighbors by giving a class every month on how
I love
to,
that. How old is
I
she?
know. She's 70 years old, 69.
That's
And I
great.
walked in there, I was like, oh no, she's not going to teach me anything. She is amazing. Like she's on it. She
Okay.
gets it.
Yeah.
Let's just environmental toxins. I said perfumes, uh, plugins, like those things, plug it in, plug it in. I
Don't
mean,
have
don't
them here.
fucking use those.
Don't have them here. Like it's so weird. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not allowed. There's a million different things that we have in our
What
systems.
about
Oh, one more thing,
coffee?
one more thing. Coffee's fine. I
Oh,
mean,
good.
yeah,
It's my
coffee's
only
fine.
vice. I mean,
And it has so it like it really like if you it help coffee helps with diabetes, it helps with Alzheimer's, it helps with or dementia, it helps with all kinds of different things, it has tons of antioxidants. The
good.
problem with some coffees is they're not they could have pesticides and stuff on
Yeah.
it, so you have to be careful about that. But uh anyway, there is so much that is really bad for the gut in our society right now, especially in the United States. But we're, and I do want to say this. I like there's a huge movement here that we're talking about chemicals and stuff. There is no reason we should have to wait for our government or Congress or whatever to start changing the way things are done. We can change it by buying the right things, doing our own research. We don't have to wait.
Yeah,
This
it's
is,
funny. Everybody's like waiting. Like you can start. It's almost like everyone's putting off being healthy. Like we'll start tomorrow. Like well, until the
the,
government is. Yeah.
well, they can be the victim of the government.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
Yeah.
they,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, well, I mean, it's the government's fault. No, you can read,
Yeah.
turn over the package, and start voting with your dollar today. Like that's it.
Yeah.
So,
So
um, but I wanted to just say, like, all of those things, they're causing really, really, really awful things.
like what? Because okay, so you mentioned what is a leaky gut, what causes a leaky gut, but now what does a leaky gut cause? Like what are the results of having a leaky gut?
I mean, I wanted to say alcohol is not good for your gut. And I can usually tell when somebody is like a white wine drinker, like just by like I can tell by their skin because leaky gut, like it really fucks with your skin. It fucks with your midsection. Like there is like there's no good alcohol. If you're gonna drink alcohol, tequila has pre and probiotics in it. So that is the least of the bad ones,
Yeah.
just so everyone knows.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I call tequila a superfood, but nobody like that's never clicked on.
I have a poem about tequila. Do you want to hear it?
Yes. Do I want to hear it?
It's I like to drink tequilas, two at the very most. Three, I'm under the table, and four, I'm under my host.
I love it.
I love it
I
too.
love it. It's so good. La, la,
Okay.
la, la. Let's see. I'm just gonna sit here for a second.
Yeah, I just have loads of questions. Like I'm
Yeah,
wondering,
go ahead.
there's a leaky gut, you have it. What does it cause? And then the other thing is, so you mentioned all these things that are bad for your gut. What are things that are good for your gut? So those are like my two questions.
Well, there's some interesting things. First of all, getting enough sleep is a really important one.
Is that so the bacteria can like do their thing while you're asleep, or what's
Yeah.
the
Yep. You detox while you sleep. That's
Oh,
what you're doing.
because you're breathing heavily and
Yeah.
the toxins come out of your breath.
Yeah. Well, and your brain flushes itself out.
Okay.
There's stuff that happens in your digestive tract. The lady last night that I took this refresher course on, she didn't say this, but I do believe that if you don't eat a few hours before you go to bed, it is really good for the gut. Like you don't want to go to sleep
Mm.
with your
Like false.
body having to process things like that.
Yeah.
So I think that's really important. Um, you know, I would venture to say, like, if you probably have leaky gut syndrome.
I'm sure.
Everyone probably does. Like we're just living in a stressful time and with a lot of toxins and a lot of plastics and stuff like that. That all damages our gut.
Yeah.
So like these things are easy things you can do. You exercise, getting out and moving your body is a huge thing for your gut because it like fires up hormones that help you with these
Hmm.
things.
Hmm.
Um, like I said, being physically active. This is a weird one. Friendship
Oh,
is known to help, like it sets off endorphins and stuff that help your gut.
that's amazing. I love that.
I know. I love it too. Um, anything fermented is really good for the body. Bubbies, pickles, I live and die by them. I buy them for people randomly. I know it's like weird,
Yeah.
but they're so good for the gut.
I make my own pickles, by the way.
I love that about you. Do you
And
make
well,
them
that's a
through
Polish
salt
thing.
or
Like
vinegar?
I use salt.
Okay, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, I use salt. So I boil water. There's special pickle salts. Put it in there. Once it's cooled off, pour it over the pickles, add garlic. I add a bunch of stuff.
I,
Herbs, and it sits. And there's low salt pickles, which you don't let them sit for too long, like about 24 hours, and they're
yeah.
delicious. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Easy.
I'll let you do that for me sometime.
I'll do it when I come over.
I'd like to invite you to invite me to have some pickles.
Yeah.
Um, so bone broth is one of the absolute best things. It is a superfood.
How do you make
There's
yours?
well, I'll tell you how I make mine. I whatever chicken or meat I have, I save the bones. You can freeze them until I'm ready to make it. You throw that in with you can put so much in it, but I put a couple of about a half or a quarter of a cup of apple cider vinegar
Hmm.
because that gets in and gets the good stuff out of the bones.
Mm.
I do carrots, I do turmeric, I do ginger, I do celery. I like celery in mine. I do onions. If you're going to feed it to your animal, you can't do the onions,
Hmm.
just so
Yeah.
you know. It's very good for dogs. Um, but you can put anything in there. That's the
Yeah.
wonderful part about it. And then you just throw it all in a slow cooker, and then put it outside because it stinks and cook it for 24 hours. Or something new that a lot of people are doing pressure cookers right now. Or, I think that's kind of a wave. It's amazing because it makes it in such a short time. So
Yeah. And are there any bones that are particularly more healthy, like turkey or like beef, or like is there anything that's more healthy or just it doesn't?
I'm not 100% sure. Again, not a doctor, but I know that beef is it's got to be really good.
Yeah.
Because they charge more for that at the
Yeah.
farmers market. Might just be
Yeah.
more expensive though, you
Yeah.
know?
Okay.
So, but bone broth, eating the rainbow is a big one. Eating like all different colors of the rainbow, like
Mm.
that's a big one. Giving up dairy for I never actually promote giving up dairy in a whole one because I think butter is a superfood. It's super good for the gut. It like do your own research. And then Greek yogurts, when processed properly, are just so good for the gut.
What about
So
cheese?
I think that's where you're gonna run into, like,
Mm,
it's kind of you need to keep cheese to a
a
minimum.
minimum.
A
Okay.
minimum. Yeah.
Minimum.
Minimum. Um, so, I mean, just eating healthy, and then just meditation is absolutely one of the best things you can do. And that's not even 10 minutes. If you can get your feet into the ground, grounding yourself and
Mm.
meditating and doing a short breath work is great for your gut and your stress system.
It's so interesting. It's almost like these bacteria are like tiny, tiny little people, and you got to calm them down and like get them to work good together. So like calming your
That's
body down.
exactly how it is.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it is.
So did anything like when you went to listen to this lady, I'm sorry, I forgot what's her name again?
Susan Kaiser.
Susan Kaiser. Did anything surprise you or did you learn anything new?
Well, I'm obsessed with gut. So but the thing that she told me, and this is so crazy, is she said that you should turn off your Wi-Fi at night. Have you heard
Oh,
that?
yeah, I've heard
She
that.
said
Like
it
in your whole
really
house
affects the
though.
gut. Yes.
Oh, not just your not because I always put airline mode on my phone. I always do airline mode, but she's talking about the Wi-Fi and the like unplug your router.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's saying
Okay.
she from 12 midnight to 6 a.m. They just it clicks off the whole house, and then it clicks on. Now, realistically, I know I'm not going to do this.
Yeah, I live in a building, not in a house. So like everyone
Yeah.
else's Wi-Fi is on. So
And I'm
it's
like,
not gonna really
maybe
matter.
that is a really good idea because, like, it affects the brain, and the brain is like, it is seriously detoxing at night.
Yeah, but what I did notice was there's been times where I've just fallen asleep and forgot to put on airline mode, and my quality of sleep has been worse. I do notice that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, really?
If my phone, yeah, like if I forget to, I always do airline mode and just turn off all the my entire phone, and then I notice my sleep quality is worse when I forget to do that. So it's interesting.
That's very interesting.
The more
Yeah.
restless sleep.
Well, and have you seen people like they have their silence modes on their phone? Like, it'll tell you that they're not taking your call.
Hmm. Yeah, do not disturb. I do that all the time.
Yeah. I think that's like a millennial thing.
Yeah, I do that.
Like, I'm like, I would never fucking do that, because if somebody's calling me at 4 o'clock in the morning, they're obviously dead in a ditch and they need me.
Oh, I don't care if they need me.
Yeah, I know. Like it's like, there's no way I'm doing that. There's no way.
I do that.
Yeah. I worry too much about, it's the Irish way. If
Yeah.
somebody's 15 minutes late, I think they're dead. It's so crazy. And I get it. This is like this is generations of women that think the absolute worst. Like, I have to fight with myself not to. It's weird.
It's intergenerational trauma. There you go. You can't help it.
I think it's from eating, like our ancestors eating too many potatoes or something. It's like, yeah, I don't know. But just to be clear, like, this is can completely be fixed by eating real food,
Yeah.
and settling yourself.
Hmm.
Like, I think coming into a time when our bodies are saying, you know what, we're having all these issues because you guys aren't coping well.
Yeah.
Like, we're at a kind of place in time where our bodies are saying, whoa, 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 this is not good for us. Like, listen to your body.
Yeah. So talked about what's bad, what's good, and then causes. So can it cause cancer, skin problems? I know that. Like just all this, a slew, diabetes, assuming.
Yes, anything and everything, basically. It is linked to it. And I don't think we're done yet.
Yeah.
I don't think we're done yet. Like if you just the allergies, the intolerances to food. This
Yeah.
is where it's coming from. If you are having problems processing regular foods, your gut is fucked.
Okay. Do you have any like food allergies or anything?
No,
I don't either.
no. And I, you know, I also wanted to say if you're a cesarean baby, you start out really behind.
I'm a cesarean
So
baby.
me too.
Why do you start out behind?
Because there's bacteria in the uh canal, the vagina, or in the
The
canal to the
birth
birthing
canal. Yeah.
canal that has bacteria that automatically, like, they're talking about just swathing the vagina, or I'm sorry, the birthing canal, and then just putting it on the baby's face is so much helps so much with gut health. So if if you were a cesarean baby, you're already starting from behind. And
Yeah.
I think in our generation, a lot of people started having cesareans.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Like, and also with like lungs, because something about the pushing and the breathing.
Yeah.
And I've had asthma forever, so I think,
Well, it causes asthma. Leaky gut is,
yeah,
you're much more likely to have an asthma attack
yeah,
if you have that, because I mean, you're more susceptible to your body reacting. This
yeah.
causes like fibromyalgia. I can't remember what those are called. Those
Endometriosis and all those. Yeah.
well, these where your body starts to attack itself. I can't remember what kind of
Autoimmune,
diseases. Thank
autoimmune.
you. That is linked so wholeheartedly to the gut. Hashimoto's, all
Yeah.
of these, that is from the gut because your body attacks itself.
Yeah.
And why does it do that? Because like it's under siege from the inside.
Yeah. I know it's so interesting when I have like friends who have kids or they themselves have really bad acne and they always get these creams. And I always
I
think
know.
it's an inside job. Like you need to change your diet or something because like these creams are just like masking the symptom and it's not going to work.
Yeah, I mean, the skin is a great way to tell where you're at. It really is. Like whenever my skin looks like shit, I'm like, okay, then I need to figure something out
Something's
on the
going on.
inside.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I know a lot of people with these different diseases and or skin problems and stuff like that. And like I was just talking to my friend Lena, and we have teenage girls coming up. Like it's really important to get the system going right.
Mm.
So they're not dealing with like the acne. They're not dealing with the stuff like that because it's just, I mean, the diet today is really hard, especially when kids are going to school. I mean, they're just they can get some really crappy food there.
Yeah. So, in your opinion, where can people start? Because I think it's a lot to revolutionize, and I know that's where we all want to get to, but what would you say is where would you say is the most important place to start? If they had to eliminate something or put something into the diet, just one thing, what would you
Well, I'm
suggest?
going to give you 5 things that everyone
Okay.
can do.
Okay.
Okay. Eliminate fast food
Okay.
for so many reasons, but eliminate fast food. That's one.
Okay.
Go through your pantry and eliminate all high fructose corn syrup, all, and you, high fructose corn syrup, get sleep,
Mm.
up your water,
Mm.
and then I would say maybe the best thing you could do is bone broth. If you're going to add something, I'm trying to add something,
Yeah.
if you can't, bone broth, Greek yogurt,
Something
and not the
fermented.
sugar, or something fermented, those three things,
Okay.
but eliminate high fructose corn syrup in your pantry. Scarlett and I, for the last 2 months and Jason have eliminated seed oils. It's not easy to do. I'm going to warn you right now.
Mhm.
There's no snacks, hardly. There's like 5 or 10 brands of snacks that you can actually get, but it is totally worth it. We feel so much better. But you know, and if you are not feeling good and having these things, if you're going to drink tequila, but they have
Yeah.
doctors have said not even red wine is good for you.
Yeah.
It's just not it might be good for the soul, but it is like destroying your gut. So if you're going to drink, be mindful of what you're drinking.
Okay.
And keep it to a minimum. And if you have to drink, which is your own problem, do tequila.
Another episode.
Because yeah. And I could do a whole episode on tequila.
Yeah.
It really is an amazing choice. We went to San Juan one time. They sponsored me and 9 other bloggers to come write about San Juan, so people would want to come there.
Yeah.
And the first place we went, they gave us tequila. It was like a cucumber tequila. We called it spa water. And we had it with soda and lime, but we drank it for the whole time we were there. I think we were there 4 or 5 days. And then we all went, this was when I lived on the island. We all went back to our respective islands and just continued to drink the spa water. Well, we reconvened and everybody had lost at least 5 pounds. I mean, it's different. It's a different, I think it reacts to the body different. So
it's interesting. I wonder if that's the reason, because that's what I would drink. I would do crushed ice and tequila, and the ice would melt a little bit, and it was almost like tequila and water, and that was my drink when I was actively drinking. And I'm like, I wonder why I'm not more ruined. As an alcoholic, I should be fucking really, my face should be ruined. And I was like, I wonder if it's because that's what I drank, is tequila.
It does have pre and probiotics in it. And and I do know a little bit that it does react differently. It reacts in your body more like a drug, which is probably why you went
That's
for it.
why I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels good.
Yeah.
Red wine does not feel good. I don't know if you remember that. It feels awful in the body.
Yeah. And white wine too. I was the worst migraines. Yeah, no, I didn't like it. So tequila was my drink. Interesting.
So if you're gonna drink tequila, but you can't drink, so it's not a problem.
I just don't.
Cannot. You're so good not. You've got your own, you're your own
Yeah.
good time there. But this is a good refresher. I think that a lot of people know about leaky gut, but they don't really know how to fix it and how to kind of accept the fact that we have control over it.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you. I love you. This is super helpful.
I love you.
I'm gonna do all the stuff that you suggested.
Sounds good. I hope you do. And if anybody has any questions, I'll post this lady's information. She's so amazing. Her name's Susan Kaiser, and she's at flcuisine@roadrunner.com.
runner. Love it.
And you can just email her and ask her questions. And if you want a nutritionalist, I'm sure she will be glad to oblige.
Fabulous. Thank you. I love you. And
We
I
love
will
you
see
too.
you next
See you
Tuesday.
next Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining us this week on We Need Help, the podcast.
Make sure to like, subscribe, like again our YouTube channel, our Instagram, follow us wherever you can. It really, really helps us out and ensures that you won't miss any future episodes. So, yep, thanks to you, we can keep going.
We'll see you next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.